I'm going out, I gotta go. I'll bang a rang on the radio. So turn it up, I'm telling you, I think I'm ready for something new. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.
Hi, I'm Noelle, the host of Pop Punkin' Pizza, and today I'm joined by Ross, the owner of Hoarders Trading Post in St. Charles, Illinois. Hoarders is a resale record store that sells pre-owned vinyls, CDs, posters, sound equipment like speakers and turntables, and lots more. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's freezing outside. There was recently a snowstorm, but other than that, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a cold few days, and it's been rough to operate. Nobody wants to come out when it's minus 18 degrees.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're making the best we can with it. So.
Yeah. And I know Hoarders used to be at a different location, and you recently moved to this one, which has a lot more space. So tell me the story of Hoarders. Like, how did you first decide to open up the store?
Well, we had an idea. It was going to not be a record store, maybe more of like toys and video games and just, you know, anything that we could put in as far as resale goes. Then we decided to go ahead, and the first week I think somebody came in and bought all my toys, and I'm like, you know what, let's just turn it into a record store. And we outgrew our first space in the first year. And then we ended up moving over to a 3,000 square foot store, and the rest is history.
Cool. And do you run the store by yourself, or is there anyone helping you out?
I got one employee that works maybe, you know, every other day, you know, all day on weekends. I do run the store most days in the downtime. You know, I get a lot of help from tons of friends that are really into records, and that's where I learn anything that needs to be learned is from them. So they come in and help and volunteer, and, you know, help me clean up and price stuff and, you know, grade stuff and clean stuff, and, you know, it's kind of like free labor.
Nice. And what do you think makes Hoarders unique from other record stores in the area?
Ooh, we probably have a bigger selection of used vinyl. I'm not real competitive in the new vinyl market. We got other stores in the area that love the new vinyl, but as far as, you know, your old classic rock, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Steely Dan, you know, those titles, I make it a goal to have more than anybody else. So I go out and buy collections and, you know, just stockpile great titles. And everybody, you know, that's looking for a certain title, they usually have a lot of luck here. So.
Nice. And do you like CDs or vinyls better, and why?
Oh, I mean, I love both. I mean, there's high quality recordings on both. My background is probably more CD collection with the lo-fis and, you know, hi-fi audio that can come out of, but vinyl, you know, a nice clean copy of an original, you know, record it's tough to beat the sound. So yeah, I'm 50-50.
Yeah. I feel like I like CDs better just because they're like portable and you don't have to worry about it getting scratched as much or like worn out. But they still do get scratched and worn out. But I just like them because they're portable. But yeah. Do you think there's a difference in sound quality between CDs and vinyls?
I think there's a pretty big difference if you're playing it on, you know, period correct equipment. You know, like these new turntables that they're pushing. It doesn't sound the vinyl doesn't sound the best on the new turntables that are coming out. But if you've got an old vintage system and you're running the vinyl on that old Pioneer turntable, or I mean, it's going to sound night and day better than a CD. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely do think there's a difference. What are some of the biggest challenges that come from running a record store?
The amount of work that you got to put in, it's 24/7, 7 days a week, no vacations. You don't, unless you know how to really delegate authority, you're pretty much stuck doing it all the time. You're out buying collections, you're dropping stuff off to get fixed. If it's stereo equipment, you got to go pick it up, come back. So it's, you might only be open from 10 to 6 every day, but you're working from 6:30 until 9 every night, and you get up in the morning and you try to go buy collections before you come to work. So it's just a constant working every day of the week.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for someone who might want to open their own record store or resell record store?
Uh, I don't know if I have any advice. I mean, it takes a special kind of person to do it. You're not going to do it for the money. You're going to do it because you love music and you love being around music. So, I mean, the money's not bad. I mean, you can still make a living, but it's still, yeah, you got to really love music. And that's all it takes, really. If you love music, anybody can open up a record store.
Good advice. And are you having any sales for Record Store Day? I know it's in April, which is like 2 months away, but I mean, the sooner people start saving up money, the better.
Yeah, we don't participate in record store days. We're one of the few that don't. I mean, that's my choosing. I've been told by distributors that I'm one of the highest selling volume pieces of new vinyl that doesn't participate in record store day. I just never got around to it. I'm sure financially it would be probably beneficial to me, and I would attract a big crowd, but I'm just not into it yet. I will at some point, but right now, no.
Okay. And what age range do you think listens to vinyls the most based on like who comes in your store the most?
The demographics, I would say women more so than men in the same age group, like the 18 to 28 range.
Really?
Yeah, definitely probably 70-30%. The males in that bracket, they're still into CDs. Like they're the CD metalheads, looking for the certain CDs to play in their car. But I would say overall, my age in between 45 and 55. People trying to relive their youth with disposable income, probably buying the same record for the third time in their life. Those are the guys that constantly come in and they're looking for certain titles. Those are not collectors. They're people that actually only listen to vinyl. Yeah, and then there's really no specific genre, but that's what I would have to say is that those guys are the ones that keep the store open.
Okay, that's interesting. And what are some of your favorite records that maybe you also happen to have in store that you would recommend?
Oh, all the classics. I'm a real big fan of greatest hits on classic rock. So, like those are when people come in and I had a lady in yesterday. She never has bought a record before in her entire life. She didn't know where to start. She was all over the map. She wanted Red Hot Chili Peppers. She wanted Dylan. I'm like, all right, well, the way you can get started, pick out 5.
Yeah.
And she picked out Dylan Greatest Hits 1 and 2. Then she went Red Hot Chili Peppers Greatest Hits. And then she grabbed Steely Dan Greatest Hits. So she ended up grabbing 5 Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what a lot of people need to do before they get wrapped up in finding that first pressing, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, go out and get them classic rock. Yeah, Eagles, Steely Dan, CCR, they all have incredible greatest hits albums, and it's a good way to get involved in, collecting vinyl.
Awesome. And what are some less well-known bands that you think are very underrated?
That I think are underrated. It's gonna go all the way back to like the '60s, you know, like psychedelic, anything psychedelic genre. You know, they're more collectible records, but I mean Rodriguez Cold Fact is, you know, one of the best records ever, and nobody knows about it, you know.
Yeah.
And there's Captain Beyond is one of my favorites, and somebody introduced me to that record like 5 years ago. I had never heard it. And it ends up being one of my top 5 favorite records, you know, the first album. And then you get into the singer-songwriters, obviously Van Morrison and, you know, all those guys. And Tom Waits, you know, a lot of people don't listen to Tom Waits, but if you do, you're probably having a fun time, so.
Yeah. And if you could reunite any band that's no longer together, who would it be?
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, they're dead. Nirvana. I mean, Nirvana is one of the greatest. Stone Temple Pilots, you know. I'm glad Pearl Jam's still together, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. But that whole 90s genre, I mean, Smashing Pumpkins, you know,
Well, they're
Green
still
Day.
together.
I know, they're all still together,
Yeah.
but they're looking for a guitarist right now. So,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, they're not completely together from the original lineup, but yeah, that's kind of a tough question.
Yeah.
As long as my band, which is Tool, is together, I'm fine.
Okay. That's cool. And what is your favorite genre of music? I know you have a lot of different, like a variety of different genres that you sell at Hoarders. Which one is your favorite?
Prog, progressive.
Okay.
It's that combined with jazz. You know, you got so many options when you get into that. You know, from Genesis and Yes and Crimson and Tool and Mars Volta. You know, I'm just into that sound, and then that translates into, you know, the jazz genre. You know, Coltrane and Sun Ra and all that stuff. It's fun to listen to because you don't know which direction it's going, and they're all 10-minute long songs. So yeah, you can get to enjoy them a little bit longer.
Cool. And since this is the Pop Punk and Pizza podcast, I always have to ask, what's your favorite kind of pizza?
Sausage mushroom,
Okay.
thin crust, New York style.
Interesting. I don't really like mushrooms on my pizza, but they're tolerable.
Yeah,
My favorite is like
I can go either
California Pizza Kitchen has some really good pizzas, like thin crust pizzas.
way. I like them. I like California, and I like all pizza. I eat pizza 6 days a week. I had pizza last night, and I had pizza for lunch. So, yeah, I love pizza.
Yeah, pizza's good. We totally understand that here.
Yeah, my New Year's resolution is not going very well.
Oh,
So, yeah,
yeah.
because of pizza.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. I really appreciate it.
All right, I had fun, and you're welcome to come out anytime and go find some pizza.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem.